Hi guys, it's Franz from Fractal Trading. Even though it's only Thursday, the markets have been pretty interesting. So let's have a look at the opportunities for trend traders. And let me remind you at this point about my blog where you can see these videos, where you can see the newest market updates as well as charts. And please be reminded that I'm trend trading. I especially want to pay attention to risk management and price as the main indicator for actually taking positions. There will be no MACD lines crossing, initiating any actual entry in a position. Instead, prices are generating fractals, and those fractals actually make up the buy and sell signals. How to use fractals you can see in this video that I made a couple of days ago, and just ask me any question that you might have regarding the strategy. In any case, risk management is another very important factor, and you can actually get information on my blog about those subjects. Also psychology and emotions, which is a never-ending field that anybody who is serious about making money in financial markets will have to face and will have to deal with. And in this regard, it's a never-ending story. I will publish articles and links to very helpful sources here and there. I already have. Hopefully you find them helpful as well. If you want to read up on different trading systems and risk management, you can hit my blog and just browse to those categories. Next to that, I'm doing a weekly recap where I focus on the main markets of that week, the most interesting ones, and all the other ones are captured here in those categories. I'm trying to always maintain the most updated blog on long-term trend following, actually using most of the time weekly charts, sometimes daily charts, to make out where the next huge move is going, and in order not to miss it. Let's have a look at this week's markets. It's only Thursday, the 14th of April, and I had already mentioned that there's quite some interesting stuff going on. I had been talking about the euro dollar, the New Zealand dollar, as well as the Australian dollar. In my opinion, they are still in a huge side move on a weekly basis. We do not see these forex pairs actually penetrating the balance zone on a monthly basis, which tells me that the trend is still down. Therefore, there are no long positions initiated. I am waiting. Even though fractals are taken, I am not buying. I am waiting on the weekly for these markets to turn around. I actually have been waiting for quite a while, but if there is no signal, then that's just part of trading. Not having a position is just as important as entering long, entering short, whenever the market tells you. Now let's have a look at some other markets where something actually did get going. What you can see here on this chart is silver as a CFD, and what you can observe is that these prices have actually been down for 4 years before, just at the beginning of the year, we saw this impulse move to the upside, and we have been staying above the balance zone, which is marked by those three moving averages, ever since. And therefore we can now observe this divergence that made prices go lower, but the momentum indicator shows us that there is no pressure in this market to head down lower. Instead, we do get fractals. We did get a fractal area, which is nothing else but then a resistance area, and now we do have the same right up here. This is taken out. This has been taken out yesterday, and prices might move higher here in silver now. After a 4-year correction has been finished, the new move might just as well be a continuation of the old move, the old huge trend that took silver from below $10 all the way up to, I don't even remember where it was, 50, yeah, 52. So let's wait and see. The fractal has been hit. Stops are in place right inside of the balance zone with usual risk on this trade, and let's see where we are headed here. Not very usually do we get gold heading in the opposite direction of silver, or the other way around, whichever way you want to look at it. And I must say, it doesn't really matter to me if silver is like gold or if there is a correlation, and I don't even care if there is another correlation to other markets, or if other markets are interrelated. I couldn't care less. I'm just trading the market, I'm trading the fractals, and I'm buying and I'm selling whenever the market tells me. And silver told me this week to buy, while gold told me just a couple of weeks ago to get out, because the impulse move is done. The situation is pretty much the same. You do get a 4-year correction, you have numerous divergences. If you just let me put in those lines right here, you can see there is a divergence between those price, or this price range, and this momentum indicator here. You get an impulse move, which you could have traded by using this fractal to buy, and now you are out because this market is heading towards the balance zone. For now it has only hit the trend ending moving average for my case. However, it is, or it seems to be, approaching this balance zone. I don't want to guess all that much how much further this market might move, but it kind of looks like, and this is now 10 years of experience talking, it could spike, or it might as well trade down for a couple of weeks between the green and the red line, and it may breathe there for a little while before it actually continues what could be another move to the upside. Clearly enough, if you zoom out and look at this whole chart, you can see this huge trend up from down below. I don't even know where gold was during that time where I was a little kid. Yes, it was down at just around, well, above 200 to move out to 1900. I think 1850 was the high, and look at this small correction. It's pretty much nothing compared to this move to the upside, or this correction that had been going on for 20 years between 1980 more or less and the year 2000, before gold took off. And this small correction that has been going on for 4 years now might actually have ended. If you look at it in this chart, you can really see the impulsive character of this market now, and maybe we will see it heading out in 2016. There are not a lot of major market moves that you get as a trend trader, as a trend follower. Maybe 5 to 10% of your entire amount of trades that you get in a year will be huge trends. Maybe silver, maybe gold will be one of those markets in this year. Now let's have a look at the indices. They have been crazy all along in 2016. Major volatility occurring in these markets, and very interestingly, pay attention to those pin bars here, here, here. Here it's not so clear actually in this price feed. There are others where you look at the CFD. We're looking at the CFD where you do get a pin bar, and price never was able to go down below this area. This is the previous correction preceding this bigger correction. So you do get this uptrend from 2009 all the way out to now. 2009 to mids of 2011 has been corrected already by this move down here in 2011, and there a new move has started, and this move has not been corrected yet, or it is about to be corrected, or it's in the middle of being corrected. We don't really know, but this here is nothing more than an internal correction of this, and now we need something that corrects the whole thing, and this would be this correction right here. We don't know if it's over yet. Usually prices will move below this low just penetrating it so slightly and then moving out. This has not happened in the DAX. What actually happened is prices turning around before that, creating a bifractal, and now being this week being almost there, hitting that fractal, and maybe we are ending a bear market, maybe we are heading out to make new all-time highs. I don't know, and it might just be possible that this market is in a huge sideways move that goes from 8,700 points all the way up to above 12,000, which is a huge range in which the market could go sideways. However, I'm following, and when I do see a fractal like this, I just trade the probability of this market continuing to the upside. Unfortunately, the picture is not as clear in the Dow Jones CFD market. If you have a look at this chart, it's much more sideways. It actually has already shown us that it is in a huge side move where price is just hitting the bottom border, then going up to the upper border of the side move. And over here in this market, it's actually covering a distance from 15,500 all the way to 17,900, 18,000 points. So it's huge, and it's very dangerous as a trend trader to actually fiddle around in this kind of environment, because no trend is getting off. It doesn't start. It always keeps it keeps heading back into a correction. As you can see, those fractals here, you did make some money off of it, but there was no trend. It was just a huge move to the downside, quick, and that was it. The same is true for this upwards action and for this downwards action, and now we're up again. Prices are just going outside of the balance zone to the bottom just a little bit, and then coming up, going outside above the balance zone, but not being able to establish a trend, not being able to build something robust, to establish momentum into the same direction. It's questionable, though, if this situation will continue on, since we do have something interesting here in the Dow. I already pointed it out that this price bar here penetrated this fractal, but it wasn't able to close below it. Instead, bulls took around price, and the week closed out in green. The bulls won the fight, so to speak, and in the following weeks, prices also weren't able to take out that low. So you do have this low taken out, you get a pin bar, and never coming lower. This usually is a pretty bullish sign, even though a trend trader wouldn't act on this, since we first need something to be established that we can later on follow. We would have waited in the Dow Jones for a fractal to form between the red and the blue line, or just outside of the balance zone. However, this didn't happen, as you can see. Yet we are at the next upper border, where the next fractal is, and this is nothing more than the high of the sideways move that we are in this market ever since the mid of 2015, and it looks like that maybe tomorrow or even next week this market could hit that fractal and even continue higher. It has not breathed. There was no correction anywhere inside of this huge move to the upside. And new all-time highs are not far away. They are not far away price-wise, and they are also not far away if you look at it from a time perspective. Now that means we just want to hop on the train and ride the wave all the way to the all-time highs. Even though the distance is not so great, we don't know when this market is going to stop. It might continue up and up and up. We want to make sure that we don't miss that and just get in when the market tells us to get in. Unfortunately, there was no sign of getting in this area. If you trade the weekly chart, on a daily chart this is a totally different topic. On the weekly, this is your opportunity right now. let's wait. Let's not put a position into the market that carries too much risk. We don't know when this is going to turn around, so let's just wait and see where this is going to go. At this point, I am finished with this week's weekly recap. Hopefully, this is helpful to you. Let me know if you have any questions, and enjoy your weekend. See you soon.